On the outskirts of Florence, tucked between narrow alleyways, sat a mansion locals never spoke of. Its shutters were always closed, windows dusted, and yet the iron gate was strangely inviting. They called it La Casa dei Nomi Dimenticati, the House of Forgotten Names. Isabella, a linguist fascinated by lost dialects, arrived to study the mansion. She had heard whispers of a house that held the names of anyone who entered and erased them from memory if left too long. The front door creaked as she stepped inside. The air smelled of old paper and stone. Walls were lined with shelves of leather-bound books, each spine blank. A single candle flickered in the center of the grand hall. As she walked deeper, she noticed the first oddity: whispers, not audible, but felt, like vibrations through the floor. Words in languages she had never studied brushed the edges of her mind. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall, draped in black, face hidden beneath a hood. It gestured toward a table stacked with scrolls. Isabella approached. On the nearest scroll, she saw a name, her name, written in delicate script. Her pulse quickened. "What is this place?" she whispered. The figure didn't answer aloud. Instead, it pointed to a mirror across the hall. Isabella glanced. Her reflection was missing her face entirely. Blank, smooth like porcelain. The whispering grew louder, swirling around her head. She tried to step back, but the floor shifted beneath her feet. Corridors twisted, rooms multiplied. Every book she touched contained names she didn't recognize, yet somehow felt familiar. Hours passed, or perhaps days. Time was unsteady. She realized the mansion was feeding on memory. Every name she read, every page she touched, a small fragment of her own past slipped away. Childhood games, the scent of her grandmother's kitchen, the sound of her mother's laugh. Gone. The figure remained silent, but its presence pressed down, heavy and inevitable. Isabella turned to flee, but the door had vanished. In its place, a new corridor stretched endlessly, lined with portraits. Faces stared back, some with blank features, some horrifyingly familiar. One portrait stopped her cold. Her own face, eyes wide with fear, lips slightly parted as if to speak. Below it, a name had been carved into the frame: Isabella Rossi. She staggered backward, tripping over a rolled-up scroll. When she unrolled it, the words shifted before her eyes, morphing into a sentence she could understand. "Forget, or join us." The mansion's whispers became commands, urgent and pressing. She felt herself forgetting her own identity. A piece of her name dissolved in her mind, then her mother's face, then the sound of her own voice. Panic surged. With all her remaining strength, she snatched up the candle and ran blindly. Corridors twisted endlessly, doors appearing and vanishing. Finally, she reached a spiral staircase, descending into the basement. At the bottom, a single book lay open on a pedestal. Its pages glowed faintly. Isabella realized this was the source. Every name absorbed into the mansion flowed through this book. She tore a page, thrust it into the candle flame. The room shuddered. Light exploded, shadows screaming silently. The figure vanished, rooms collapsed, corridors straightened. The mansion exhaled, and suddenly Isabella stood outside, the morning sun warm on her face. The mansion remained quiet and still. She ran without looking back, carrying only the memory of one name she had barely remembered, her own. But at night, when the wind passes through the alleyways, locals swear they hear whispers, names lost forever, calling out for those who forgot them, trapped in a house that remembers everything.